Hello, everybody. My name is Ian Beckles, and welcome to the Plant Power Podcast. First and foremost, let me show some love to Curaleaf, our main sponsor. They've been our sponsor for a while, and life's about choices, and there's a lot of different dispensaries out there. Personally, I go to the one that treats me the best. Just like some people go to their friendly bar where they get treated the best. To me, Curaleaf is just, you feel like you're at home when you're there, and they're every darn where. I don't know how many are in Florida anymore. It seems to double every single day, but they're everywhere and they do it the best. So go holler at my people at Curaleaf, and you got to come by here, Dignitary Tea and Kava House. Right now we have Cannabis Doc in the building. If anybody's looking to get their cannabis card, it's time to get it done, people. You guys been rolling around doing things illegally, and just in case something goes down, you want to do the things the right way, go to cannabisdocgroup.com. Or you can give them a call. The number is 813-501-4777. 813-501-4777. Get your medical marijuana card now. Now, my guy here, Mr. Tom Ponzo. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's football season.
That's what I'm talking about. You're very disrespectful with that Giants jersey.
No,
very disrespectful with the Giants jersey.
No. The only disrespect I'd show is if it was a Cowboys fan.
Well,
yeah, we can all agree on that.
What's disrespectful is the way you guys play. But anyways, we don't get too deep into that. Okay, we don't get into that.
Now, 5-12 this year.
5-12 at best. But no, listen. Every week I want you to do a little journalism and looking in some things. What did you dig up this week?
Well, I dug up. Well, this week you want to talk about the study that I came across?
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay, the study I came across. 43% of young adults aged 19 to 30 have used marijuana in the past year. Now that number is up 5%. Actually, no, 9% from 5 years ago and 13% from 10 years ago. It's remarkable.
So what do you think? I mean, obviously, a lot of things in our world are post-pandemic, and the pandemic affected our world to where things may not ever go back to the way they used to be.
Unquestionably.
And I think the cannabis world exploded during the pandemic. It exploded. People were at home. People were staying away from people. And I don't know why they weren't smoking to begin with, but it seemed like things blew up at that time. So you think that affected everything the last 2 years with that?
Unquestionably, and I also think it's the acceptance, the national acceptance to this particular drug. It's become more and more. It's losing a little bit of the stigma, but that stigma is still there, as we've discussed many times.
It's always going to be there because of the money part of it. Okay, right. The money part of it's not going away. There's really not an argument anymore. There's not. Okay, but there's still money behind it. And when you hear things that when marijuana does get legalized, the government loses lots of money. Okay, your doctors, as we talk to a lot of different people, a lot of people go to their doctor. The first thing the doctor does is prescribe you with shitloads of pills. When he really should do is tell you to change your diet and smoke a little cannabis. Okay, that's real. So instead I played in the NFL. They were feeding us pills. You couldn't give us enough pills. You want a prescription? I went to do my cognitive test for the NFL, and when I left, the guy goes, "You want a prescription for Adderall?" And I'm like, "This is very counterproductive here." So I think the world is always going to be. There's going to be a faction of the world that's always against cannabis. I just don't think that's ever going to go away.
It's kind of unfortunate, too, because pharmaceutical companies rule the lobbies in Washington, D.C. And
absolutely.
As long as they keep this drug listed on Schedule 1, it's going to have a hard time breaking through. And I think it's up to the president to take that drug off of Schedule 1 in order for us to open it up a little bit more.
I'm going to say this about the president, whatever president is there. And it's nothing about the president that's sitting there now.
That's why I just said president.
I don't think any president wants to do that. I don't think any president wants to be the one responsible for letting loose marijuana. I think they're all scared. I'm being honest with that.
Yeah, it was only, 50 years ago when it was put on Schedule 1 by Nixon.
Well,
I think it was 1971 when that happened.
Our vice president's supposed to be this proponent for marijuana. She ain't done shit.
No.
What has she done?
No, she's just backing up Joe is what she's doing. I don't think she has much legislative influence except like a deciding vote in the Senate. That's it.
Well, the thing is, I believe, when I look to go vote, sometimes, some people look for abortion. Abortion ain't got nothing to do with my world, thank the Lord. I'm knock on wood. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Marijuana does. So, to me, a lot of people, voted for them or her because of marijuana, then do something. At least make a move or something.
I wish. That would be awesome. But taking it off Schedule 1 just opens it up to more funding from the government to do research.
So who am I to think that a black woman is going to do that? Yeah, it might not turn out that well.
Those are your words, man.
Of course they're my words. I'm not going to rescind them either because I don't rescind shit.
Why should you?
That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So you went to Curaleaf this week?
Yeah, quickly. I just wanted to talk about edibles.
Yep.
Instead of a strain, I picked up a couple of things from Curaleaf. We have our THC chews and our Blue Kudu chocolates. They're fantastic. I can just show you what it is. I did want to get into a little bit more detail on dosing and things like that, but we are running out of time. But each one of these has 100 megagrams of THC, each individual piece. They have 20, it's 5. So if you have half of it, you want to start your dosing low. So if you're new to edibles, take maybe a half of one of these little blocks. That's 2.5 milligrams. And if it doesn't affect you within 20 or so minutes, bump it up, finish the other half, and see how that works for you. For me, 10 milligrams is perfect.
But I ain't new to this, I'm true to this, and I smashed that whole bar. I smashed the whole bar, smash! At night, smash! I just like to smash things.
And it tastes good, too.
It does taste unbelievable, as good as any chocolate out there.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you, everybody. We'll be back. Welcome back to Plant Power Podcast. And when I first started out to do this podcast, I told you I was going to bring some people in here that know a lot more about cannabis than I do. And this young lady, I've known her for quite a while. We have a lot in common. She has kind of an entrepreneurial mind. I think I do as well. She used to own a magazine. I used to own a magazine. She's just been around forever, as I have here in the Tampa Bay area. Angela Ardolino, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
It's
so
good.
Nice to see you.
Absolutely.
In our whole new world of cannabis.
A whole new world of cannabis. And I never really knew you were involved in cannabis. And I saw you at KushCon the other day.
Yeah.
And I saw you were on the panel. So what were you talking about at KushCon?
So I discovered cannabis for myself, but I found my niche in the industry, which is animals. So I know everything there is to know about how cannabis helps animals.
Really?
And I know how it helps people too. I just happen to focus on animals.
Sure, absolutely. I'm focusing on people a little more so, but I know that there's definitely benefits for animals. Now, when you're saying cannabis and animals, you're not talking about like your dog can't roll up the Curaleaf and, could your dog get a card?
He doesn't have a card, but my card,
You're okay.
I got her medicine. So I'd love to tell you about Nina.
I would love to hear.
My Doberman, who was diagnosed with osteosarcoma at 8 years old.
Okay.
And anybody who's had a dog with cancer, your options are usually euthanasia.
Sure.
Radiation, chemotherapy, all the stuff they're doing for humans now, they're now doing to animals, even though there's no proof that it works or that it's good for the animal. So I was offered those two options, and of course I was like, yeah, no, I know what cannabis does for cancer.
Yeah.
I thought I knew what cannabis did for cancer. Now I literally can explain it, step by step.
So what did it do? What did it do for Nina?
So she was given 4 to 6 months to live, even if she were to get all the conventional treatments. And I didn't do a single conventional. I only did holistic cannabis, full spectrum hemp extract in the day, THC at night, up to 10 milligrams for 2 years. She lived 26 months.
Wow, good for you.
Research. Go down the research black hole of what chemotherapy, radiation, all those. If you were to do all those, you get if you're lucky and have a healthy dog, 300 days. I got 850 days.
Wow.
I didn't have to spend $20,000 on all of those things. She still had her leg.
Correct, yeah.
And, what I learned is that, cancer has 12 pathways that it interacts with.
Okay.
And you'll hear about immunotherapy now, or cancer targeted drugs is the new thing. When they're saying that they're targeting they're targeting one pathway of those 12 pathways.
Okay.
You take cannabis has already been proven to interact with 8 of those pathways.
Sweet.
You add turmeric, medicinal mushrooms, ketogenic diet, you're literally interacting with all 12 and cancer doesn't have a chance.
Whoa. So you're saying turmeric, cannabis,
Well, you know
mushrooms.
that turmeric shares some of the same compounds as cannabis. It has B-caryophyllene in it, which is one of my favorite terpenes, and which is why it's such a great anti-inflammatory.
Sure.
It is interacting with the endocannabinoid system like cannabis does. So that's why all these plants that we think are super awesome is because they have other compounds in them just like cannabis does. It's just that cannabis happens to be the queen of all of them.
Cannabis is a queen, and then I know Frank the Kava OG. We want to give away all our secrets, but we might put a little turmeric in our cream. I'm just saying.
Well, and so you absolutely understand this. That's why Kratom and Kava are so amazing.
Yes, they are. Are you familiar with Kava and Kratom?
I just know them from being a consumer and loving them. I was just telling her I know nothing. The person, my shop downtown, there's a shop there. We trade. I trade him dog stuff. He brings me a drink.
There you go.
And so that's all I know.
And life is
but
good.
I love it, and I understand why it does it, because I'm sure it does. I'm sure it has the some of the same medicinal compounds.
No doubt. So I'm looking at your bio, and if I'd have read this before, I would have gave you all 27 minutes of the show because you're pretty darn active. What is Fireflake Farm?
Fireflake Farm is my rescue farm. So I rescue farm animals and dogs that usually are sick or super old. Literally, I would get them and have nothing to lose and be able to practice cannabis medicine on them.
That's awesome.
Get rid of cancer, stop seizures, get them to get up and walk.
So you're
again.
watching what it's doing.
Literally watching
firsthand.
it.
That's awesome.
I mean, so one part that we skipped of my story is that I had the opportunity to go to the University of Vermont's School of Medicine's inaugural class on the study of cannabis.
Really?
For its therapeutic uses.
Wow. So how the hell did you get in that? Everybody probably wanted to be in that one.
I knew you from the magazine. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. Was prescribed Humira. I was like, no, thank you. Don't want lymphoma.
Sure.
Found cannabis. Got rid of my pain, changed my life. I literally sold my company and threw myself into the industry. I didn't know where I was going to land.
Wow.
Thought I was going to be a cultivator. This is in 2015. I thought I was going to be a cultivator because I thought you got to grow it a certain way if you want a certain medicine.
Sure.
Became an advocate, of course, was crazy in this state getting it made legal. After we made it legal, we then had to train all the doctors and veterinarians and all that good stuff.
Sure.
But I basically, when I went into the business, I hired a business consultant, one of the best ones out of Colorado, opened the first dispensary in Boulder, Colorado, and I literally shadowed him and traveled all over the country and learned everything about the industry. So they contacted him and said, hey, do you got anybody good for our inaugural class? He goes, I have the perfect person.
Wow, how about that?
So when I went to that's when I learned that animals had the same system as we did. And dogs in particular, they have research out of Italy that proves that dogs have double to 10 times more the receptors than we do.
Okay.
So that's why they are perfect for a hemp product that has the low THC in it, because they can benefit so much from it.
I've seen firsthand myself having a cafe here. I've had some people with their dogs limping around with some issues or whatever, and then there's myself, who my body's been beat up a little bit,
right.
And I'll go to Cureleaf and get some of the relief cream or whatever. And I was just saying today on air that I don't think I've ever used anything that's been that effective. So what is with the rheumatoid arthritis? What kind of regimen are you on? Are you just an average smoker? What kind of regimen are you on?
I'm probably the second best underused Cureleaf customer. So
Good for you. Good for you. You see what I'm talking about?
So is my dog. I used their RSO for Nina every single night. Gave her 10 milligrams of THC. So anybody who says THC will kill your dog or your pet is full of shit.
THC ain't killed nobody. It's never killed anything ever.
Nothing.
There's some situations where, oh my God, you gotta call emergency. My dog ate all the gummies. That's fine. Your dog's gonna be fine.
It depends what's in that gummy. If the gummy has xylitol in it, your dog's going to die. If it has chocolate, raisins, all kinds. So if any dogs have died from consuming cannabis, it's a cannabis edible. It is not a pure product. If they were to eat your stash, they're not going
to die because of that.
And I don't know if people know this, but CBD dampens the effects of THC.
I know it, but I'm a little deeper than most, but that's a fact.
If your dog is high, give them some CBD and it will bring them down.
And even deeper than that, if you're too high and you're in a bad situation, which everybody that's dabbled in edibles has been in funny places before.
Oh, yes.
And I've dabbled in some funny corridors. And what you do is you take some CBD and it kind of calms the whole thing. I didn't know at the time.
You know what else you can do?
What was that?
You can suck on a lemon.
I heard something about
Because
cinnamon, something or something.
Limonene, probably, because
Yeah.
limonene also dampens
Lemon.
it.
I've heard some of
Mango, because of myrcene, also dampens the effects. So
It happened on a plane once at 2 a.m. There was no mangoes, there was no lemons. And I was looking, I said, can I get, and I was in a funny place. It was not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ever been in that funny place?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good,
I
good, good. So
have.
are you big on edibles then?
I am not.
No?
I am, well, I was a flower queen.
Okay.
And now in my old age, I've switched to a lot more vaping and
Okay.
things like that. Or tinctures.
Tinctures are easy.
But I love the flower so much.
It's just, it's more of an experience thing, you know what I mean? Like, I'd never really smoked cigarettes before.
Yeah, me neither.
And I think when I see people smoking cigarettes, and I don't want to speak for them, but I don't even think it's about the actual, what you get. I think it's experience.
It is, it
You know what I
totally
mean?
is, yeah.
You know, so that's, I always kind of fall back to the flower as much as I love the RSOs and all kind of stuff. That's,
If I were to I'm not gonna get cancer, but if I ever were, I would absolutely be doing RSO and something
Sure.
a lot stronger and more
but they
regimented.
say Rick Simpson will actually fight cancer. I've heard that before.
Absolutely, I'll prove it to you. I'll show you. I'll bring my diagrams out.
Unbelievable.
There's a actual British, I want to say it's the British Journal of Medicine, has done a complete review on all of the research that's been done in cancer and put it in one document.
Really?
And I have those visuals where I can literally show you. And what's interesting is that it's not just the cannabinoids that are doing it. It's the terpenes, the flavonoids,
Sure.
the proteins. So one pathway, let's say we'll talk about the pathway that allows cancer to spread, to metastasize. THC will not allow that to happen.
Okay.
So I don't know if everybody knows how cancer or tumors work, but you get rogue cells, more of them get together, a tumor forms, and then they shoot out a vein to get their blood supply.
Okay.
THC literally comes along and chops,
Boom.
kills that blood supply,
Yeah.
so it starves. While the CBD and all these other compounds in the plant come, and one is killing it, one is suffocating it.
Sure.
CBD turns your cells into natural killer cells, which then go out into your body and find any of the rogue cells to prevent them from turning into cancer cells.
They don't mess around.
They don't mess around.
See, now I did a daytime show. I do the daytime show. I've been doing this for a while, like once a month or so. And I went on there, and the lovely girls. It was Maggie and Fallon. And Maggie says, don't get too close. I'm just coming off of COVID. And I said, I'm immune. I don't celebrate it. She goes, what do you mean? I go, I'd smoke a lot of weed. And she looked at me and I go, no, seriously. I just smoked so much weed that it
I
can't
don't know about you. I feel like it goes in,
Yeah.
and I smoked and it
That's-
killed
and
it
then,
as it was
so
going
it's
down.
done. No, but I think I've seen studies that they say that
Awesome.
actual marijuana actually it's kind of knocking out the COVID, I guess. Whatever.
Whatever. I got COVID, and I don't feel like I have an autoimmune disease, and I think I drank probably a 4-ounce bottle of my full spectrum hemp extract.
Good for
But
you.
you asked me what I did for rheumatoid arthritis.
Yes.
I take my product,
Your
my
product.
course product, because it's a lot stronger. And I have a formulation that has turmeric and frankincense in it, which,
nice.
again, both of those have compounds that are major anti-inflammatory,
Huge.
just like cannabis.
Just so what are you selling exactly? What are you? So you're selling animal products that humans can take.
They're human-grade products for animals. So
Okay.
I have 3 tinctures, one for cancer, autoimmune disease, which is my strongest. Then I have a formula with turmeric and frankincense, which
Okay.
is for like allergies, arthritis, and then a calming tincture, which I added lavender essential oil to it.
Very
And then
nice.
I have 3 salves, which I brought you one,
Okay.
topicals. These are the most popular with humans. I actually have a physical therapist who sends his patients to my dog grooming shop
Oh, really?
to pick it up.
Okay.
But I combined, cannabis belongs to a group of plants and mushrooms called adaptogens.
Okay.
So these plants all have medicinal properties, and when you put more than one of them together, it becomes super synergistic.
Okay.
So that's why I combined these other plant medicines.
Well,
with
cannabis
it.
and mushrooms, I like those together.
And
Those are pretty
mushrooms,
good.
that's
Yeah.
my
That's your
new-
thing too?
That's my thing now too, because they interact with the endocannabinoid
Yeah.
system. And
I've been.
you see my shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
Just say no to
yeah.
drugs and yes to plants
I'm
and
all
fungi.
I'm all good about that.
I
I'm on
know.
plants over pills, everybody.
I love it.
Stay away
Me
from the
too.
pills. Pills been killing
Same with
people.
your pets.
Exactly.
I'm actually doing an event called Do No Harm with like 5, 6 holistic veterinarians that have been in practice for over 2 years who are watching a trend. So in the human world, when more of us become educated and realize these pills are doing more harm than good,
they should know by now.
what happens when the sales start going down? Do you know what they do? They go, let's figure out how to make this a drug for pets.
Correct.
And then they start, so these vets are watching this trend where these drugs are no longer making the bajillions that they were over here and now are being introduced and suddenly FDA approved for pain when they have never been proven to do pain. They didn't work on pain for humans and they certainly aren't going to for dogs.
No, they're not.
So now we have all of, 12 different opioids for dogs that are completely unnecessary and not needed.
Well, Angela, thank you for being a proponent of cannabis.
You betcha.
And I'm going to get you on here now that you have so much knowledge.
Thanks.
And I don't know why we're not selling your stuff here at the Dignitary
would
Tea
love
and
for
Cobb
that
House.
to happen.
Let's
It
get
would be an
that.
honor.
Let's get that happen. It's good to see you.
Thank you, honey.
So give me a website or something like that.
My name, AngelaArdolino.com. CBD Dog Health is the name of my CBD company for pets. Well, Full Spectrum Hemp. I'm with people who know what I'm talking about.
There
Full
you
Spectrum
go.
Hemp Extract Company, and Myco Dog is the name of my mushrooms.
Check her out. We'll be back. Plant Power Podcast. Welcome back to the Plant Power Podcast. And if you haven't been by the Dignitary Tea and Kava House yet, shame on you. You're definitely missing quite the party. We do have the best kava in town, the best kratom in town. So I'm a little biased, but it's real talk though. So my guy right here, Frank the Cavo G, is the mastermind behind all this, and we're trying to make this place grow as much as we can. And we're growing on as far as our products go. We had some of our own gummies, but we've actually teamed up with Havana Hemp, and we have some beautiful products. Tell them what we got.
So we got a nice selection of stuff from Havana Hemp. We've got some really nice flour. We've got sativa, indica, and a hybrid on the flour. It comes in grams, eighths, and quarters. Reasonably priced. Everything is like not that expensive. We've got some really good Delta 8 gummies. We've got a Delta 9 gummy too that is Delta 9, as you know, is the actual THC molecule. We can sell it because it's below the actual percentage, the legal percentage by volume. So they're big giant gummies, but very low amount of THC.
Now, do they affect you different than?
It's going to affect you like you would if you were to get something from the dispensary.
Okay.
It would take a little bit more.
Sure, makes sense.
Because obviously you can't sell it at that size. And then we've got some hemp cigarettes. We've got some pre-rolls. We've got an Ice Rock pre-roll, which is really nice. The Ice Rocks are cool because it's like a moon rock that's soaked in a distillate, a Delta 8 distillate, and then coated in a CBD isolate, which is really nice.
I'm telling you, for those of you out there that think that you know the difference between like marijuana and hemp, if you look at these, I'm telling you, you cannot tell the difference. And that's why I tell people that are going out in the street and that don't have your medical marijuana card, half of it can be this and you would not know.
Nobody would know the difference.
I promise you.
Yeah, nobody would know the difference. It really, honestly, Delta 8 is a THC that's derived from industrial hemp. It's a very low, it's not as intense as you would get like regular THC, but it's a nice relaxing for people that can't handle that over the top buzz.
Sure, yeah.
This is the perfect thing for them if you want to just smoke a little something, relax, chill.
Well, a lot of people, listen, I talk to a lot of people that are involved in cannabis and marijuana, and everybody has different mentalities now. I heard people say, I like the feel of marijuana, but I don't like the feel of being high. That's foreign to me. That's not the way I think. You know what I'm saying?
That is a lot of people, that like the older folks and stuff. They like, the fact that it's helping them medically, but they don't like that that psychoactive effect. So it's definitely, there's alternatives. The Delta 8 gummies, from what I've, tried, or if not, comparable, better.
A lot of people say that.
Than what you get at the dispensary. It hits you a little bit differently. It definitely relaxes you, and it's all good products. I mean,
and as far as sleep go, a lot of people go towards the Delta 8 for the sleep, I think even more so than the THC. Because
Delta 8 really, honestly, you can say it's hybrid or an indica or whatever, but it's really a sativa base because the hemp plant itself is a sativa. So there's really not that difference between
Sure.
the indicas. Like if you were growing in, in a dispensary or for legal marijuana, that's a completely different game.
Absolutely.
you know.
So we have a whole, dispenser
have a
full,
whole yeah.
full of stuff. What other? You were talking about some cigars or something.
They've got cigarillos. We've got one right now. It's a cigarillo. It's got a wooden tip on it.
Okay.
It's a really nice rolled cigar. And they're like $15.
So it was like a Swisher Sweet
It's
kind of.
like a Swisher Sweet.
Yeah.
We're also getting some can of cigars from them next time they come
Awesome.
in. So we got a Corona, and I think I want to. What's the smaller ones? The
Cigarillos or something?
yeah, kind of similar.
yeah.
Like the Panella or something.
Okay.
Like that. Yeah.
I'm not into those little bitty
Yeah,
fluffy
I want a
things.
good
You know what I mean?
stogie.
Give me a good big old fat stogie
That's
and
right.
and a bourbon.
But yeah, they've been selling it, and what's nice about Havana Hemp, it's always going to be fresh product because these guys are, it's a thing where they're going to come in weekly, bi-weekly,
Correct.
check our inventory, and then replenish, get all the old stock off the shelf, put in new stock, so it's always going to be fresh. It's and it's selling. We're doing pretty good.
I love it. And listen, everybody has a place where they go and they buy their hemp or their pre-rolls. So we're just saying if you're going to come by and hang out at Dignitary Tea and Kava House, it's a good place to step
and
off.
if you don't have your medical card and you're looking for a little something to smoke that's
There you
legal,
go.
this is a great alternative. It really is.
And if you want to get your medical card, you come in the same building, and we have Cannabis Doc right in our building, right here. So
CannabisDocGroup.com.
no doubt. So what's new and fresh as far as the Kava goes?
Kava is fresh every single day. We're brewing, and we're brewing more and more every day. I've got 7 Kavas right now to choose from. I've got Fijian Kava, I got Vanuatu Kava.
7. Like
Seven.
the other day, I
7
went.
different strains.
The other day, I went to a place and I said, "Hey, I'm not gonna bring up the name.
Yeah.
Do you have any?" I said, "Do you have any Kava?" She says, "Yes, we do." And I say, "What kind?" And she said, "Mind and Body."
Yeah.
And then the 2 separate. And I go, "Just two, and that's it?" And she says, "Yes." So we're not bragging, but we're bragging.
Yeah, we're
okay,
bragging.
we got 7 different Kavas here, and one of them tasted like they strained it through I don't know what. So.
But then you got to ask the magic question.
What's
is,
that? What's the magic question?
Where's your Kava from?
I did ask them that. She said somewhere on the islands.
Then
What?
you need to come here.
Well, then you need to come here
and have my
and get
Kava.
schooled.
My Kava is Fijian, it's Vanuatu, it's all noble root. It's brewed fresh daily. I only brew it in 1 gallon batches, so you're always gonna
Small
get some.
batches.
We've got a lot of great specials, man. Monday, $25, all you can drink Kava. I challenge you guys, come out. Try to drink
$25
my
all
Kava
you-
for $25.
He's challenging you.
I'm challenging you.
Tell you what,
Yeah.
don't be that person. Don't be that person. Come and hang out. Dignitary Tea and Kava House, 4817 South West Shore Boulevard. And we're open from 10 till 2 a.m. And if the place is packed at 2 a.m., it's going to stay open. So what's the big deal? So come hang out. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Everybody have a wonderful week.
Peace, y'all.